last one, at the end of that episode, who do you speculate who they are? I speculate one was Romana, the other one was his mother. Could that possibly be?
I don't think one could be Romana, because Romana is in E-Space.
Yeah.
We've never seen her again, and as far as I know, like that may not, she may have appeared in some of the books. One could be one could be Susan it's either Susan, and I suggested when I first saw it that it was his mother. Now I know, of course, that because of the throwaway line in the film that he says his mother was human, but there was a really fascinating article I read recently in the Doctor Who periodical that dealt with McGann and that line, because that's got to be one of the most. And for those of you that haven't seen the movie, there is a very brief, completely throwaway line when the Doctor is played wonderfully by McGann in an otherwise not so wonderful movie.
Amazing actor.
And he is an amazing actor and does wonderful things with the role, even though the movie is. But there's a reason he's still considered canon, and but he says at some point, and I forget how it comes up, but he says that he's half human on his mother's side. Now, and everyone was like, "What? No, he's a Time Lord. What the fuck are you doing with this show?" And so it pissed off a lot of people. But this wonderful article I read about, which yeah, half human, all that is. But he made this. The writer made this wonderful point, saying, "Well, no, it's kind of a throwaway line." He almost says it as a joke, because beforehand he's explaining the whole process of regeneration and how this particular one was rather rocky because he hadn't been down that long in a while because of the drugs they put in his system for the operation when McCoy was going down. Blah 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 blah. And so he said, well, you know, potentially, and this has been alluded to in Eccleston. When Eccleston was beginning to regenerate, he said, well, I never know what I'm going to come back as. I could be a different species, I could have two heads, I could be male, female. I mean, he literally says just that.
Yeah.
And so the idea that Time Lords are not really their own species, but kind of a meta-species that when regenerating can come back potentially as anything.
Yeah.
That you just never know, it's this complete grab bag of possibilities. It is quite possible that in that carnation, and in that carnation only, he is indeed half human. And the joke about his mother's side is just a joke because he can tell that the person he's talking to, his eyes are just glazing over, and he goes, well, on my mother's side, you know, which is just a typical Doctor Who, like, oh yes, it'll be wonderful and crazy.
I have a question for everybody. Do you guys want to see Tennant's regeneration?
Yeah? Does the Time Lord shit on Gallifrey? Not anymore.